Look back at some of our biggest fights of the last year.
There you are!
Some of these movies are in theaters, some are now out on DVD.
So you can decide if I'm right or if Richard's wrong.
Yeah, it's split decisions on this special edition of Ebert and Roeper. Other than Cruise and his daughter, played by the amazing and ubiquitous Dakota Fanning, we really don't get to know any of the characters, nor do the aliens have much personality beyond their insatiable hunger for human blood. There's also an intriguing but kind of strange interlude with Tim Robbins as a survivalist. It seemed like it was from another movie. Still, I'm giving thumbs up to this movie for the terrific work by Cruise and Fanning and those sensational action sequences.
Thumbs down for me. I felt this was totally in a different and more disappointing category than E.T. or Close Encounters or Minority Report. I mean, Spielberg has made three of the best science fiction movies of the last 25 years, and this is not one of them. The alien tripods are clunky and clangy and old-fashioned.
No, well, they're supposed to be old-fashioned. They're based on the H.G. Wells original version of it.
That was set in 1898, so set the movie in 1898 because, you know, tripods don't even make sense. They're not stable. They should have four legs instead of three. Also,
but you're hung up on the tripod.
They've been waiting for 1 million years underneath the ground, and they haven't been found by anybody digging a subway or putting in an electric line.
They're deep. They're in the core where Hillary Swank once went, way down there.
1 million years, and then when they come up, what they want to do is zap us with death rays and suck our blood?
Well, I mean,
after 1 million years, couldn't they come up with anything better than that?
I'll tell you, Roger, there have been, I think, very few movies about alien invasions where we really get great motivation on the aliens' part for coming to the planet Earth. I mean, that's always the kind of thing. They come here to either say hello or to eat us. You know, they don't just show up every once in a while.
Yeah, whether they say hello or eat us, at least they're more interesting. They were more interesting, for example, on Independence Day.
Well, no, I don't think so. But I think you're also just shortchanging, first of all, Cruise's character, who's this, you know, I thought it was interesting that he was kind of a lousy father, and he doesn't all of a sudden become a stuntman like these guys usually do, like Tom Cruise did in a movie like The Firm, where he's jumping off trucks and things like that.
He doesn't become a stuntman, but he does get inside a pod and dive into a basket full of people and grab out his daughter and get her outside of the pod and throw a grenade over his shoulder. That wouldn't be a stuntman, would it?
Well, you know,
that wouldn't be a stuntman.
By then, he's pretty deep into this, you know, this harrowing adventure, and I think you're shortchanging Spielberg's abilities here to, you know, these great stunt sequences.
The train on fire, roaring through the station. That's a great shot.
It's a great shot.
So there are some great moments in the movie. I just want to still thumbs down for me.
All right, before we move on, I just want to make this clear. So if you're standing there in a multiplex and you've got your $9 or $10 in your hand, you're saying that you should go see The Longest Yard or The Honeymooners before you should go see War of the Worlds.
I'm saying, well, how many times do I have to explain to you that ratings are relative, not absolute?
You know, I understand it. I'm just saying.
I'm saying that if E.T. gets 4 stars and Close Encounters gets 4 stars, this gets 2 stars.
And Longest Yard gets thumbs up, and this gets thumbs down.
Well, you know, oddly enough, no. It doesn't work that way.
But how does it not work that way?
Because people should be smart enough to listen to what we say instead of looking at the dumb thumbs and the dumb stars, because there are gradations and contexts that go on.
All right, but you're giving this movie thumbs down.
I am.
Okay.
And if you want to read my review in the paper or hear what I said here, you'll understand why.
I look forward to reading more.
And if you go look at Minority Report, you'll see that this is half the movie that was.
And it's still worth seeing, I think.
They do find the Civil War battleship in the desert, by the way, and if you wonder if its cannons will still fire after 150 years, you're in the wrong movie. Sahara may not make any sense, but it is certainly energetic, and it combines high adventure, goofy science, and absolutely impossible stunts. I give Sahara points for energy, for imagination, and for sheer audacity, and I give it a thumbs up.
Wow, you are the king of generosity.
No.
This is so awful. And
no,
you're
it's not awful.
Roger,
it's not awful.
I understand what you're saying. It does have a lot of energy, and it's
so
so
over the top. It is a Saturday matinee entertainment.
But it's just so ridiculous.
Oh, but that's okay.
Stupid.
So you think James Bond is credible, right?
Well, you know, but everybody in James Bond, in those movies, actually acts as if it could happen, and Matthew McConaughey is just doing bad Burt Reynolds wink at the camera stuff here. And I love Penelope Cruz. You know she's a doctor because she has glasses and they put her hair in a bun. So okay, doc, thanks for stopping by and saving the world. Yeah, and I agree with you. I mean, there's a lot of fun with it in the first maybe half hour or so, and then it just gets so ridiculous and so stupid
bother me.
that it drove me crazy. It made National Treasure look like a documentary.
It would have bothered me more if it hadn't gotten ridiculous.
Yeah, well, you are the king of kindness on this one, my friend.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
May you spend an afternoon seeing Sahara 2 someday as your punishment for recommending this
May a diseased yak make love to your sister's kneecap.
Thank you very much. That's funnier than anything I saw in Sahara. As with almost all thrillers of this nature, there are a couple of moments when everything could be fixed if the main character just did the most logical thing. And the Skeleton Key does overdo it with the false gotcha moments and an overbearing soundtrack. You know, when a young woman in her underwear gets up in the middle of the night to investigate strange noises, we don't need the orchestra to pound us over the head with amped up spooky music.
Tell me who you're afraid of.
But I am giving the Skeleton Key thumbs up for the first-rate acting, the stylish direction, and the very evil, and I thought, very clever ending.
You know, I'm giving it sort of a thumbs down, and I'll tell you, I agree with you that Kate Hudson is very good in this movie. So is Jenna Rowland, so is John Hurt, so is the atmosphere, so is the haunted house, and so forth and so on. But, did you understand it?
Yes, I think I did.
What did John Hurt want help for?
He wanted to let her know the deep, deep secret that we don't find out till very deep into the movie.
But isn't he already the possessor of the beneficiary of that secret at that moment, and therefore has no desire at all for her to do anything other than what eventually she does?
I'm following what you're saying, but no, he's not at that moment.
But his wife is.
Yes, you see what I'm saying?
I don't understand
it's
how.
Played straight. The big
so
secret.
That since 1962. Right. She's been in one category, he's been in another category.
No. I know what you're getting at, but I think, all right, you know what, you now have me saying that maybe it isn't as clear as I thought it was, but I'm sticking to it. I think it is consistent to what finally happens at the end.
And why does the door in the attic rattle itself?
Because that's a cool movie trick, and you have to have that in scary movies.
Okay, well, anyway.
All right, so thumbs up for me, and you're pretty close. It's a flawed thriller, but I think it's worth checking out.
Thriller.
Oh, you're gonna cover me.
Like white on rice.
All right, I like my odds here. I'm gonna give you a little warning. I'm going downtown.
Hot route! Red 7, red 7, red 7!
Look for me in the end zone after this play. I'll be the guy holding the ball.
John!
What?
Red 7!
I don't know what red 7 means.
Claire's entire family is crazy. Let's put it this way. Christopher Walken plays only about the fourth nuttiest member of this family. Unlike so many comedies that play it safe to get a PG-13 rating, Wedding Crashers earns its R. It's raunchy, sexy, and offensive. But there's also an attempt at a semi-realistic romance or two, giving the movie some heart, a la such 80s classics as Ghostbusters and Stripes. Of course, the real love story here is the lifelong friendship between these two wedding crashers. They have great chemistry. Thumbs up for me, Roger.
Thumbs down for me, and I'll tell you why. First of all, Christopher Walken is never really used in this movie. I mean, when you use Christopher Walken in a movie, you want that speech or that theory or that moment that he just takes over and he just brings down the house. Secondly, the grandmother's obscenities at the dinner table absolutely do not work, totally miscalculated. Third, I can't understand the boyfriend character at all. He is hateful, reprehensible, a villain who has no... We don't like him. He doesn't belong in a comedy. And then... However, I think that Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson are terrific. I think they're very funny, and they're inside a movie that kind of takes what they do and undercuts it at every moment.
Well, I think that's the growth that these wedding crashers have. You don't want 90 minutes of these guys crashing wedding after wedding after wedding.
What I didn't want was that romance at the end that you like so much. I thought that was just cornball stuff, the big speeches in the aisle at the church.
Oh, that's sweet. That's nice. But, Roger, your thumbs down seems to me it's coming because of the Christopher Walken character, that mean old grandma, and the idiotic boyfriend.
Well, those are pretty good reasons.
But that's about 9 minutes of the movie, especially with those with the two peripheral characters. And you like the wedding crashers, though. You like the two guys.
No, it's more than 9 minutes, especially if you consider all the scenes that they bring to a dead halt. You know, they used to talk about those Hollywood producers who would look at a movie and they would chew on a cigar and they would say, that movie needs to be 30 minutes shorter and have a new ending. This movie needed a producer like that.
It's a shame in these movies that they have to make the guy such a villain. I mean, so over the top where you're thinking, well, you know, why would she be with him? But I still think you're missing.
Supposed to be comically
but what about all the
villainous.
great stuff with the guys, with Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn? That's what the movie's
It's a real shame
about.
that is wasted in this kind of sea of unfunny stuff.
I think it's funny stuff. You know what it's like getting up every morning feeling hopeless?
You ever heard of Michelangelo?
Yeah.
Heard of Sistine Chapel?
Yeah.
Michelangelo. Sistine Chapel.
So it's romantic comedy and science fiction, you might say. It's also a bit too long, and I thought it relied a little too much on big misunderstandings that could be cleared up with a couple of 2-minute conversations. But I did enjoy the buddy dynamic between Smith and James, who puts kind of a cocky spin on the clumsy fat guy cliches. And there were about a half dozen jokes that had me laughing out loud, so I'm going to give this a mild thumbs up, Roger.
For me, an affectionate thumbs down, although Kevin James is very funny in this movie, and I think he kind of, you know, Will Smith is predictable as a very talented and funny guy who's appealing in this role, but Kevin James is the surprise. I like the women, too. I like Eva Mendes. But, you know, the movie, in general, seemed to be so plotted that they couldn't get out of their own way. It had to do with people having to be manipulated here and there and so forth, and let them be people, and let them talk, and let them be funny, and let them develop.
But I would disagree with you about the Will Smith character because, okay, he's the smooth-talking slickster who's helping all these nerds meet these beautiful women.
Except when
we could see him in that. But it was fun to see him on his first date with Eva Mendes, and everything goes wrong,
Tables
and then
turn,
he's fumbling. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit of an obvious thing, but he played both sides of that very well.
I can't think!
Action fans might get restless during the first half, and audiences intrigued by the Orwellian society may wonder why the movie suddenly became a non-stop chase sequence. The Island is typical of a lot of movies these days where every problem in the plot can be solved by chases, explosions, and special effects. At the same time, it's a well-made movie, one of the best from director Michael Bay, whose breakneck style slows down and gives the opening scenes of the movie real mystery and intrigue. Now, I've avoided giving away some of the big secrets in this movie, but it's going to be ruined for you if you see the trailer or the commercials, or for that matter, listen to the actors promoting it on television, because they give away a giant secret that we have not mentioned here today.
Yeah, it's amazing because I would have gone with "Don't tell the secret of the island," that ad campaign, and instead they're giving everything away. Now, I have to say this. First of all, it's nice to know that in the future, product placement is alive and thriving.
Oh, yeah.
This movie is just, you know, riddled with it. I would give thumbs up to the first movie you're talking about, the first half of this movie.
Kind of like Gattaca.
But I'd give thumbs down to the second half, and the second half's a little bit longer, so I am giving this movie thumbs down.
Okay, well, I
just
would defend,
marginally so.
I'm going to defend the second half, and I'll tell you why. Michael Bay specializes in stuff like this.
Yeah.
But here, he does it really well.
He always does it real well.
But he really does it really well.
But you know what, Roger? The first half of this movie, it looks great.
Oh, yeah.
It's intriguing. We don't know what's going on exactly. We have these really strong actors. And
if the entire movie were like the first half, it would have never been made.
Well,
they wouldn't have paid the salaries
for
the salaries for the stars. They wouldn't have paid the salaries for Michael Bay.
Well, that's a shame.
They would have said, we don't make elegant science fiction parables.
Well,
and,
you know what? It would have been nice if
look
they
at
tried.
Gattaca, for example, a great movie, did no business.
I just think that, you know, the last hour, it just goes on and on and on. You have these, and you have Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson, these terrific actors, reduced to just saying go, go, and duck, and you know, hanging from buildings and all that stuff.
I grant you this,
it just falls apart.
The movie is a little bit like Surf and Turf. It really is. But I think that on the whole, I liked it. Kind of like as if it were a double feature, so I'm giving it a thumbs up.
Well, I liked half of it.
Shall We Dance is an old-fashioned entertainment with predictable characters, but Gere, who dances very well, maybe because he took lots of lessons before he made Chicago, makes a sympathetic, lonely guy. J-Lo has a couple of sensational dance scenes, and Stanley Tucci is very funny as a buttoned-down, mild-mannered office worker who goes wild on the dance floor. And there's a tender, quiet scene where Gere and Lopez almost seem about to move on to the next romantic level, but then they back off, and it's handled very sweetly. Thumbs up.
Thumbs down for me. I thought they had zero chemistry, and I can't believe how much time they spent on that big dance competition at the end. How silly was that? But Roger, that one scene you showed, I thought was a perfect distillation of what's wrong with this movie. Richard Gere and Stanley Tucci in the bathroom. Okay, first of all, yeah, right, these two middle-aged guys both are taking ballroom dancing lessons secretly. Practicing in the bathroom. Oh, come on. Everything about that rings of a sitcom, a bad sitcom to me.
I'd say it rings of a good sitcom.
Oh, it was terrible. And lots of scenes of public humiliation that didn't work.
Okay, the dance contest at the end.
Yeah.
That's fun, and the way the dance contests always are fun, especially when there's a lot riding on it.
It's a 55-year-old guy in it.
What does 55 have to do with it?
Well, I mean, because they're all worked up about this ballroom dance
55-year-old people
competition.
can be serious ballroom dancers, and they can care if they win or it means a lot if they lose. And I bought all of that. And as far as there being no chemistry between Gere and Lopez, there really isn't supposed to be because neither one of them is available, and both of them know that.
And yet we're led to believe, or we're supposed to believe, that they mean so much to each other by the end of this movie.
That gets him in the door.
Oh, please. Terrible film. Terrible film.
Not at all.
We're a perfect match. I don't think you have what it takes.
I will work harder than any skater you have ever trained. And if I fail, I fail. But then it's because I wasn't good enough, not because I didn't have the guts.
Now, neither Cusick nor Cottrell has a husband. Neither of the kids ever mentions a dad. Did these women murder their husbands? Maybe the hunk on the Zamboni can wait for the pond to thaw and check for bodies. I don't want to be a meanie. It's kind of like stepping on a bunny here, but I'm going to give thumbs down to Ice Princess.
Thumbs up for me, but on the other hand, the problem with the missing father is epidemic in Hollywood movies.
But there's two missing dads here.
We're just as happy, though, if they're not there, because if there is a father, he's usually a meanie, a child abuser, an authoritarian, or some kind of a monster.
I know, but Roger,
Hollywood has a great deal of trouble giving us a positive portrait of a father.
But usually there's a scene where the little skater would like pick up a photo and say, I miss Dad.
Isn't it funny that our two dads were killed in a crash where they ran into each other with their cars?
Maybe that's what happened.
I like this movie, and I'll tell you why, and not just for 10-year-old girls either. I like it because it doesn't really follow the cliches, but instead, what it has is instead of the mean blonde girl and the little brunette heroine who's in the science lab, you have two girls trying to find out, becoming friends, and helping each other to find out who they are and who they want to be. And you have two mothers, and basically what happens is they have to trade daughters, in a sense. And neither one wants to do that because they both want to enforce their own vision. And also, I liked it because there's a lot of good figure skating in the movie, including some by some of the actresses who are figure skaters.
And I would agree. I like that it didn't turn into the typical high school movie with the stuck-up kids picking on the kids who flower at the end when they find out their true inner beauty. But I just thought it got into too many cliches.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I fall for it. When the doors open and the parent comes in the middle of the performance, and the child on the stage or in the orchestra or on the ice looks up and says, "There's Mom, she's come to see me." And then there's that little nod as the mother indicates she realizes that she didn't understand.
You know, she could have
sometimes I can still fall for that.
You can still fall for that? I thought she was going to trip over Ben Affleck on his way in at the end of Jersey Girl.
That's so cool of you.
Who are you?
I'm David Hasselhoff.
Either David Hasselhoff is a very good sport or he needs to fire his agent. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie doesn't exactly scale new heights in the world of animation, but what it does colorfully with great energy and fun. Some of the A-list animated films are so filled with inside jokes for adults and parodies of media that little kids must feel like they're missing something. They won't miss a thing with SpongeBob, who in his ambition to become manager of Krusty Krab 2 reminded me, curiously enough, of the heroes of Good Burger, another Nickelodeon series. For SpongeBob, the whole world is a fast food war, and Krabby Patties are the weapons of mass digestion.
Now, is that sponge up from you then? Are you recommending this movie for what it is?
A sponge up from me.
Well, aren't you nice to do that? I have to say thumbs down for me, Roger.
It's harmless, though.
It is harmless, and I understand why kids maybe 4, 5, 6 years old and under like SpongeBob. Now, as far as the parents and the college kids, and I know that is like a cult thing, the parents like it because it keeps the kids occupied for a half hour. So
I know at least.
The college kids like it because I believe they're on drugs. If they're entertained by this, they must be on drugs.
Well, I don't know if we need to go as far as a diagnosis. diagnosis. I know a couple of parents who like it because they like it. They
not
just
saying
think
the
it's
parents are. I'm
silly
saying,
and innocent and bright.
well, I'm saying if you are a non-parent and you're entertained by this,
Okay, well,
wow, good for you.
It's not cutting edge. I'll give you that.
It's perfectly harmless, but there are so many SpongeBob DVDs out there anyway, you know, packages, versions of the show or whatever, that for me to say to parents, you know, go ahead and spend your $8 and the $4 or whatever that you're going to have to spend for the kid, it's not worth the money.
Well, how about waiting until it comes out on DVD?
Maybe
every
Maybe
SpongeBob kid is going to want this movie
That'd
on DVD.
be good.
Visit our website at ebertandroper.tv or at movies.com.
Next week, we'll be back with reviews of Matt Damon and Heath Ledger and the Brothers Grimm.
Okay, you can hear all our recent reviews at ebertandroper.tv or at movies.com, and you can download our podcasts from iTunes. You can read Richard's columns at suntimes.com and read my reviews at rogerebert.com. And until next week, the balcony is closed.
Messes seem smaller with the Libman Wonder Mop. Large and absorbent, quick-drying strips. And thanks to the unique wringer sleeve, your hands never touch water. Libman, family made since 1896.
Get up to 4 great home equity offers. Faster than some bankers answer the phone.
Please continue to hold.
When banks compete, you win at lendingtree.com.
1-800-CONTACTS. Factory fresh contact lenses delivered to your door with a 5-minute phone call. Call 1-800-CONTACTS. We make it simple.
When it comes to healthcare needs, I shop at my good neighbor pharmacy. Sally the pharmacist knows just what to recommend when I have an ache or a pain. Good neighbor pharmacy.
Closed captioning for Ebert and Roeper is brought to you by...
Come into Meineke for new brake pads or shoes. Now only $29.95.
Meineke Car Care Center. Right service, right price.